Okay, what's up you guys? That's a standard YouTuber intro. I read a book recently at the start of 2019 which I found to be life-changing. Other words that mean life-changing. Stunning, amazing, heart-stopping, hopefully not heart-stopping. Don't want to not do that. But it was a very, 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 very good book, and that was Neverwhere. Now, I've not seen much of an audience for adult fantasy, sci-fi, I don't read sci-fi, adult urban fantasies online, so this, I felt like I was kind of alone in reading it, and I looked at reviews and it was all people who were like 30, and I thought, oh, alright then. Because I'm only 18. So I read it, and it was really good, and yeah, so here I'm going to go into I think I'm going to have a spoiler section and no spoiler section. I'm going to start with no spoilers, and then the spoiler section will just be me talking about one specific plot point that I cannot get out of my head. So, to begin with, the story is about this guy called Richard who saves an injured girl who he finds on the street, and basically gets sucked into this world of the London below, which is like London but not spookier, like kind of a more dangerous, if that's possible, a more dangerous area of London. So like, just say Wilston. It's not that hard. But yeah, so this is the London below. It's more dangerous. There's a lot of violence, fighting, a lot of risks that the characters have to take to get to their goal. And essentially, this girl that he finds, Dor, her goal is to find out who killed her family. And she does. And that's the story. And that sounds incredibly simplistic and simplified, but it is a lot more complex than it sounds. So, first things first, I really love the characters. Richard is very endearing as a main character, although I do feel from like a writerly standpoint, he is somewhat of, he's an audience surrogate, obviously, because the world needs to be explained to the audience in some way, because it is so out there, and he's dragged into it. It's kind of got, it's like an Alice in Wonderland for adults, I think is how it's described. And he is that character who's having all this explained to him, when really I feel like the character of Dor, the girl that he rescues, is the real protagonist of the story. She's the one with the goal, she's the one trying to find things. His only goal is get back to my normal life. And in the end, I liked him. He was a good character. There was also one scene where he was definitely made necessary, which is when there were 3 trials to go through in a certain area, which is a very normal structure. Like, that's the story structure, is to have 3 trials. Except these trials were very interesting. Dor, very good character, loved her, she's very sweet. She's definitely, like, she's not a Manic Pixie Dream Girl. I think I've seen that being said. She's not. Manic Pixie Dream Girls are very different to what she is. And she has these magical powers. This is not related. But she has these magic powers. And she can open doors, and she can open things, and that's what she does. And they're relevant to the plot. The magic system is used really, really well. It's very good in the story. It's very, very good in the context of the story. It works very well. Following on from that, the Marquis de Carabas is a very interesting character, kind of like a blend of Kaz and Jesper from Six of Crows, if I can go all YA for a second, because there's this like cunning, devious sort of nature to it, and it's very, it's familiar faces, you know. so I really enjoyed reading about him. He turned out to be a very good character, especially like towards the end. He really goes through and like everyone develops as characters. Like Richard, he finds out what was wrong with his life, his normal life before. Like he had this fiance, Jessica, and he learns things. I don't know if it's a spoiler that they broke up, but he was originally very beaten up about it, and then later on he was less beat up about it. Dor, obviously, she goes through, she had a desire for vengeance against her family. I don't want to spoil anything, but that does go places, and they are very good and interesting places. Onwards from that, the Carabas is developed from who we think originally is this kind of shady guy into quite a noble person, and it's a really interesting character arc. They all have very good character arcs, and I love that. So yeah, characters, great. Moving on, the writing style, the second thing that I really loved. Like, I feel like a lot of writers, such as myself, have that one book that kind of suddenly impose upon them, like the power that words have, like what you can really do with them. And for me, that was this. I read it, and as I was reading it, I was so inspired that I immediately went and wrote 3,000 words of my novel. So yeah, it's so, like, the writing is perfect technically. There are no unnecessary scenes, there are no, like, the grammar is never off. It's just good writing. It's good writing, and I don't know how to say that without getting too technical, using terms I don't fully understand because I'm new to this, but yeah, it was very, very good. On from the writing, the plots, ultimately, I think, was very interesting. There were twists, there were turns, there were some very interesting twists with some very interesting characters, which I really loved, and I love a good plot. It was a good story. I finished it on the 1st of January. I had read that far beforehand over the course of like a week, and I read all of that in one day. So yeah, that should probably tell you something about how the plot hooks you. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. I think ultimately, like, it is something which, like, if you're from London, you will definitely appreciate. I don't want to say more than someone who just isn't familiar with the area, but if you are vaguely aware of London, you've been to it, you've explored it, there are little things in there which you'll be like, huh, I know that place. But it is accessible to people who aren't, because it is, this edition is prefaced saying that there are little bits of explanation on all the things that people who aren't from the area might not necessarily get. Additionally, it's like very, it's not so heavy as American Gods in my experience. I don't think this is as heavy. I mean, it's a hardcover, so heavier physically, but it's not a super heavy read, and plus this edition is supplemented by really cool illustrations. Like, on most of the pages, there are these little illustrations, and I love them dearly. So yeah, I really like it. So now that we're done with that, spoilers in 3, 2, 1. Fucking Angel is Islington. Like, honestly, genuinely, as I was reading, I got to the scene with that character where it gets Dor and Richard drunk, and I was like, haha, what a fun character who's so tender and nice. I thought, oh boy, was I wrong. Like, there's this one line, which last time I filmed this, I spent like 20 minutes searching for. So I'm not going to make that same mistake again. It is... here. See? Didn't make the same mistake again. What did I tell you, Richard? Asked the Marquis dryly. Richard thought, you said Lucifer was an angel. Islington smiled superciliously. Lucifer, it said? Lucifer was an idiot. And I read that, and I smiled, I grinned, like the biggest dumb grin, because, like, first of all, that's like a sense of the kind of humour that you get with this thing. There's another one, which is actually a better example, and I will find it. And then it muttered something else under its breath. Richard was never certain exactly what it said, although he later maintained it had sounded a great deal like Bloody Gabriel for a start. I need to give you the context for that. I'm gonna have to do so much editing. I'm mourning the death of my afternoon right now. Have no fear, it said, for when the vastness of creation is mine, and they gather around my throne to sing hosannas in my name, I shall reward the worthy and cast down those who are hateful in my sight. And then it muttered something else under its breath. Richard was never certain exactly what it had said, although he later maintained it had sounded a great deal like Bloody Gabriel for a start. Like, that kind of humour is my absolute favourite kind of humour in, like, novels like this. Like, the kind of, I don't know what to, like, how to call it. I don't know how to use the words to describe it. Wow, what do you think I am? And all that. Anyway. I don't know how to describe it. It's just very incredibly good, and I love it. So basically the twist with Islington was the best, because you think it's going to be de Carabas. When he goes to see Krupin Vandemar, you think it's going to be him, and you think it is him. Like, while you're reading that scene, you're like, is it him? Isn't it? And then you're like, huh, it's not him. And then you think, then who is it? And then you get to the next, like a few scenes later, there's Islington remembering Atlantis, and you think, oh, this is interesting, this is very interesting, because the way that it's written, you're kind of suddenly on edge a bit, and you're like, huh. And then suddenly he calls Krupin Vandemar, and you're like, interesting. And I like that character is obviously probably one of my favourite villains. I say villains in quotes. I mean villains. It's a villain. One of my favourite villains of all time. Because a lot of the time people talk about villains and they're like, oh, they need to be redeemed. This one was set up for a redemption. This particular villain was given a chance before the story even began for a redemption. It was told that it would be freed someday if it was patient enough, and it just fucking went, no thank you, not doing that, not waiting, too impatient, gonna go straight and take over heaven. It's like, alright then. Like, I thought, like, an irredeemable villain is sometimes very, very good, and I really enjoyed this particular irredeemable villain. Other good plot things, Hunter's betrayal, finding out it was Hunter, who knew exactly what was happening, that was definitely a twist. Because, like, even the people, like, even the guys in the story think, oh, it's going to be de Carabas, of course it's him, he's shady. But no, it's not, it's Hunter. And like, I really, really liked it. I really loved it. And then she dies. She dies, and I didn't cry because I don't cry at books ever, but I just read through that scene and I was thinking, oh my gosh, oh my god, oh. And also kind of stomach lurching a bit because, so like, fair warning, don't read this if you don't like gore in a story. Because there is some of that, and it is like a $8 and I'm very squeamish, so yeah. Just don't remember, just forget the fact that they made it into a TV show, that will make it a lot easier. Or like, this was from a TV show. Just forget the fact that there is also a TV show that probably has that level of gore in it on screen for you to see, because that's not a comfortable thought. So, closing thoughts. Really good book. Guys, I really liked it. Go read it right now. Other closing thoughts, yeah, I couldn't think of anything wrong with it. That was the way that I knew that this was a 5-star read, and the best way I could have started by January this year. Pardon? Was because I couldn't think of a single thing I would change about it, and I'm still thinking about it. Days later, I am not okay. I am the opposite of okay. This book has left me ruined, and I think in my Goodreads review, like, I was still reeling. I had no idea how to, like, sum it up properly, so I was like, look at that, look how pretty that is. So pretty. I had no idea how to sum it up. So I said, this was a spiritual experience. I found God. And I still stand by that. This was an experience to read. And I'm very happy with the experience that I had reading it. It's just an incredibly good book. And, yeah. What more can you ask for from a book than it be incredibly good and incredibly well written and have amazing characters and interesting and engaging plot? And yeah, here are some thoughts. Here's a thought. That thought is go read it immediately, unless if you're under 16, probably not appropriate for people under 16. Like, this is adult fiction, I think. It's qualified as that, but I think, like, I was reading adult books at 12, so I'm kind of weird about this stuff, but I think a 16-year-old could tolerate it, so if you're 16 and over, go read it now. I also don't necessarily think it's a book that I will not reread. Like, there are some books that are so good you don't want to reread them ever in case you ruin the magic, but this one I think I might, just because knowing what happens does not ruin it. It just means that there's more to look for when you start. Like, books with plot twists are not ruined by knowing a plot twist. And in fact, I feel like they're kind of enriched because you get to look through and look for all of the signs that it was going to happen. You get to think, oh, I know. And you get to feel very, very smart. And yeah, I really like it. So yeah, thank you for watching. Like, comment and subscribe if you please. And I will see you in my next